Welcome to Money Through Ease, the podcast that helps small business owners overcome limiting beliefs and take control of their financial agency. I'm your host, Reagan Beshara, founder of All Ease Accounting. Join us as we explore ways to empower yourself and achieve financial success with ease. Ready for an accounting date with an expert bookkeeper? Sign up for a fourth quarter fling. I'll send you a customized workbook, expert insights about your business, and you get a one-on-one virtual call with me. Plus, an early bird bonus awaits if you sign up by October 1st. It's cuffing season, so let me take your business on an accounting date. Find all the details in the show notes and secure your spot now. Welcome to this episode of Money Through Ease. I'm your host, Reagan Beshara. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want you to know that I love getting feedback from my listeners. My DMs are open, my comment sections are open, my email is open. If you get on my email list, you can reply to any email that I send out and it will go straight to my inbox and I will hear directly from you. I don't have an assistant. I don't have people working for me. If you contact me through any of the channels that are available to you, check the show notes. I'm going to see it with my eyeballs. So if you're tuning in, listening for the first time, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, leave a rating and review, tell me what you thought about it, and then also just send me a note, send me a little message because I love hearing back feedback from my listeners. And if you've been tuning in for a while and you still haven't left a review yet, shame on you. Shame. Just kidding. But please leave a review. Share this podcast with your friends that love to listen to podcasts. Share this podcast with your friends who talk shit about money all the time. I'm out here trying to help people improve their money mindset, help them run their businesses more efficiently, help them run businesses that are actually sustainable, and support them with a true income that is life-sustaining. That's what we're out here to do. Leave a review, share it, follow it, subscribe, do what you gotta do to help me get this podcast in front of other people. Now let's talk about today's topic, offer fatigue. This is something that my brain came up with, which is extremely rude when my brain comes up with excuses rather than creative shit that I can help people with. Offer fatigue as a concept doesn't help me, doesn't help anybody else, but we're here talking about it today. I want to tell you a little story. This is how my brain came up with this excuse, okay? Instead of coming up with an offer for how I can help people, how I can show up and help them manage their businesses more efficiently and have better financial record keeping, my brain was like, meh, I don't think so. Offer fatigue. I'm tired. No, we're not doing that. This is what happened, literally. I have been speaking to someone who has had me on to their cohort, their class of business owners who are all amazing and doing different things and learning, and they're brilliant and they're doing awesome things in the world. And I show up and I talk to them about taxes and I talk to them about bank accounts and I talk to them about QuickBooks because I'm the kind of person that delivers that information in a way that's going to make you listen and understand what the fuck is going on. So the leader of this cohort, this class of folks, told me that she wanted me to come up with an exclusive offer to make to this class. I said, I'd love to do that. She said, I want to put you on our preferred vendors list. I said, I love that as much as I love coming up with offers. And then I gave myself a few weeks to think about it. I was sick for a couple weeks. And when it came time to really sit down and think about what I could possibly pull together that had this kind of value that she was looking for, my brain was like, I have offer fatigue. And I was like, wait, what? I've never heard that before. My brain just came up with that. So here's where I think my brain came up with this instead of creating an offer. It came up with the concept of offer fatigue based on what I know about decision fatigue. I think the most famous example of decision fatigue, and maybe you know about this too, is President Obama. When he was in office, He obviously had a lot of big decisions to make. Being the president of the United States means you're kind of busy from the moment your eyeballs fly open every morning to the moment that you collapse in exhaustion at the end of the day. So President Obama famously had one suit, and he had that suit in a couple of different copies, a couple of different colors. They were probably like black or dark gray or dark navy blue or charcoal. He had different colors, but it was all the same suit because he was reducing the time that it would take his brain to pick out an outfit every day. He knows that he's got a lot more decisions to make during the day, being the leader of the United States, and he doesn't have time or energy to spend picking out a goddamn suit. That's what decision fatigue is recognizing that when we give our brain too many options, it will shut down. It freezes when we have too many choices because we're scared of making the wrong choice. If you give yourself 2 options for dinner, you're either going to go to Olive Garden and indulge in some endless pasta and breadsticks and salad, or you're going to go to Chili's and get those Southwest egg rolls that are infamous. Those are the options. Now, there are hundreds of restaurants out there. There are hundreds of restaurants probably where you live, but you're telling yourself, I don't care about hundreds of restaurants. I know I want to go to one of these 2 places. It's much easier for you to take the time to pick one of those than to scroll through a list of restaurants near you and be overwhelmed by all of the choices that you could make. We all know that this happens to us in some way. Especially if you are partnered or if you have children, you know that you have to give them a limited list of choices. Otherwise, no decision is getting made. Y'all ain't going nowhere. Everybody's hungry and pissed off and tired. That's what decision fatigue is. It's asking our brain to take in too much data and then make a choice with it in a limited amount of time. We want to be focusing on things that actually matter. We want to limit our choices so that our brain doesn't have to sit there and process all the information. Limit your choices, constrain yourself, reduce decision fatigue. So that's how I came up with offer fatigue. I was telling myself, instead of sitting here and coming up with an offer at a certain value level for people that I really like and that I want to work with, and I want to be creative. I like being creative about offers. I love coming up with new offers. I love coming up with funny names to call things. I named my 4th quarter offer the 4th quarter fling because it's like me taking your business on accounting date. That's probably the best thing I've ever come up with, by the way. So decision fatigue is where my brain came up with the concept and the idea of offer fatigue. Instead of responding to my ask of, hey, I need to come up with a creative offer that is about this value that I can send over and be a preferred vendor and make this special exclusive offer that's only available to these people. Instead of coming up with something creative for that, my brain was like, I'm tired. Also, we've made a bunch of offers before, so we have offer fatigue now. We're totally out of ideas. I realized almost immediately that my brain was making up excuses instead of doing what I asked it to do, which was to be creative. Now, I've talked about creativity before as a business owner, even if I'm not a creative entrepreneur. I paint and journal and draw and stuff in my free time, but that's not my entrepreneurial pursuit. My business is numbers and accounting and data. There is some creativity involved in that, but for the most part, I am not a creative business. But as a business owner, you have to be creative. And creativity is a skill that I think we can all develop. It's like a muscle. We ask it to do something, we exercise that creative muscle, and we get better and better at being creative. I know this is true. If you don't think you're a creative person right now, I want you to challenge that. How can you be creative at coming up with something new for your business? Do you want to offer something that is kind of a repackaging of something that you already offer? Is there a product or a service or a combination of those things that you can pretty much reassemble in a way that is going to make it more valuable and useful and helpful for your clients and customers? I bet that you can come up with a way to be creative and coming up with a new offer based on things that you're already doing. Or you could come up with something completely new and fresh. Like you could do that too. But creativity isn't limited to just coming up with new stuff. It is not reinventing the wheel. Sometimes being creative means we take the materials that we already have. We take the products and services that we're already offering and selling, and we're repackaging it. We're putting it together in a new way that is going to be more valuable for our clients and customers. We're all here to serve them by selling a product or providing a service to them, right? And we all want to be more useful to them. I mean, I want that. I would hope that you would want that too, right? Like you're in the business that you're in to help people or to give them a little joy in their life or to make them smell good if you make soaps and perfumes. I don't know. You pour candles. You're trying to make their house smell good. Can you repackage something and bundle something or tweak something or give something that you're already selling a refresh that adds value? That's creativity. As a business owner, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You do not have to come up with new shit every quarter. Sometimes it is simply rebranding something, copy and pasting something, but like moving things around in a fresh way that makes more sense. If you've gotten feedback from people that's like, I don't really understand what you're trying to give me here. I don't really understand what you're trying to teach me. Or I don't know which candle scent I prefer. Maybe you could sell a package of candles and it's an easy way for people to shop for Mother's Day or Christmas gifts. And then you can give them more value because you help them save time on Christmas shopping. Find a way to be creative. And if your brain wants to come at you with this offer fatigue thing like mine did, it might come in the form of you saying, oh, I just don't know what people want. I don't know how my buyers, my clients, my customers, I don't know what their buying behavior looks like. I haven't done the market research. I haven't come up with a client avatar. None of that matters. You get to be creative without knowing any of those things. I want you to challenge the excuses that your brain comes up with. Because me recording this podcast episode and telling you about offer fatigue while also telling you that offer fatigue is not a real thing. It's just some bullshit that my brain came up with because it was lazy and tired and didn't want to exert the effort to think. You can be creative too. So I want you to challenge yourself if you start to feel those excuses come up when you want to be creative. Like when you're like, I need to kind of redo this thing, or I want to repackage this thing, or I want to give my program a refresh, or I want to refresh my services, or I want to hit up my old clients and let them know about this amazing offer that I've come up with. If your brain starts to say, yeah, I don't know, I'm fatigued. Haven't we done this 5 times already, 10 times already, and it never worked? You know what your brain says whenever you try to come up with something new, you try to figure something out, and it's better, it's easier to just not think about it, to procrastinate it. I'd love to invite you to challenge those excuses when they come up and really focus on flexing that creative muscle. Because as soon as my brain came up with, oh, I have offer fatigue, I don't know what to offer, I don't know what I could, create for this group of people that wants to have me as a preferred vendor. Hello? I immediately saw what my brain was trying to do. And then you know what I did? I came up with an offer immediately. As soon as I challenged my brain and said, hey, you know how you just created a new phrase, offer fatigue? That's super creative of you to come up with that excuse. Let's use that creativity and just come up with an offer like we were asked to do and that we agreed to do in the first place. I want you to challenge your own excuses as they come up. When you want to be a little bit lazy or you want to procrastinate. There's nothing wrong with being lazy. There's nothing wrong with procrastination. You totally get to do that. But if you want to create something new, create an offer, rebrand something, refresh something, and you feel yourself start to make those excuses, ask your brain how you can exercise your creative muscles now, and when that time comes, have that muscle, that creativity built up so you can tap into it as soon as you start to feel the excuses come up. So go out there, develop new offers, but don't reinvent the wheel. Go be creative, even if you're not a painter or an artist or a performer or whatever. You have a creative muscle. Start exercising it today. Start considering what you might could come up with to refresh an offer. Don't reinvent the wheel. Leave this podcast a review or a rating. Hit me up. If the next time I land in your inbox, you need to hit reply and let me know what you thought about this episode or the email I sent. Share this podcast with a friend. Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Money Through Ease. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to my email list to stay up to date on all the latest content. You can also follow me on social media at All Ease Accounting or facebook.com/accounting with ease for even more insights and updates. And if you're interested in learning more about my bookkeeping services, don't hesitate to schedule a complimentary consult today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.